everybody, I'm KK.
I'm Kristen.
Together we are
KK Crochet.
Welcome back. Today is a Centro knitting machine / crochet video. We're not showing anything about the Centro. I'm just talking trash. Not really. I'm talking about the problems of the Centro because that's what I always do. Kristen sings its praises and I talk about all the problems, right? I'm the bad one, I guess. I don't know. But my daughter-in-law wants to learn to crochet and to use the Centro to knit. So Kristen was at work the other day and she called and asked me, and because Kristen was at work, what kind of yarn to get. And she was at Hobby Lobby. And I said, well, I have a white yarn because I do use Hobby Lobby yarn. I don't shop enough of the brand. I guess it's like going into Kroger and you normally just buy the Kroger brand, right? Instead of shopping all the brands they have. So I go into Hobby Lobby and I normally just shop the Hobby Lobby brand that I love this yarn. Because the other stuff I haven't worked with and I'm still getting used to the I love this yarn, which I love. So I said, just get something. I knew I had some white Hobby Lobby yarn that had silver tinsel through it. I said, get that. Get something with a sparkle. I said, it'll work. And I had told her to make it a 3. And she said, well, it says 4. I said, it's a 3. Promise you, it'll be fine. I don't understand the Centro. Why is the Centro not consistent? Why is it that you can pick up a yarn for Centro and run it through, and then you pick up another one that's almost identical and it does not work? So she picked up the silver yarn, right over there in my bucket. See it?
Yep.
All right. This yarn. And you all know how this yarn works. I mean, it's not as rough or as thick as Red Heart. This is a Yarn Bee yarn, I believe.
Yes, it is.
I'm guessing what I had must have been a Yarn Bee baby yarn or something, because the machine chewed up.
It was fine for the first 20 rows, and then it would start snap, crackle, and popping. And she'd look at me and be like, because she's never used one before, and
she was afraid of breaking it.
She was going to break it. So I'd look at it and I'm like, okay, take it off and redo it. We did it a second time. It started doing it again. So we took it off and redid it again with the silver yarn. And it did it again. I'm like, maybe it's the yarn.
And here I'm trying to introduce her to something new. Kristen is too. And show her that it's doable. And every time we turn around, the machine is breaking. We thought the machine was breaking.
I was kind of scared my machine was breaking. Because it is over a year old. So I was like, oh no, maybe it's hit its breaking point, because I've used it a lot.
We've made it a workhorse and made a lot of hats.
And I've made blankets with it. A blanket.
So that yarn doesn't work. And I can tell you that yarn, no, it's not as thick as Red Heart. It's not thin, but it's not as thick as Red Heart. So it should go through. It feels like, and I love this yarn. It really does. It feels like the same thickness. But there's something about the difference between it that the Centro doesn't like it. I really like to know where I stand. And this Centro has multiple personalities. I'm telling you it does. Because one day it likes you. The next day it doesn't. One day it likes this yarn. The next day it doesn't. Y'all know I'm just talking. It's okay. I love Kristen's Centro for her. I love it for her, not for me. So I had the white baby yarn with the, I guess it was baby yarn, with the metallic thread through it. So I gave that to Kristen and they used that. And how did that do?
It did much better. It was great. It started snapping towards the end, but I don't know how that happened, but it was fine.
And we tried all the different tension things and all that. Kristen's been using it. She knows what to do. It's just, it didn't want to work yesterday.
It really didn't.
So it had, whatever. So, and we ran out of that, so I had to then
use some thin red, or not Red Heart.
Yeah, I think it was Red Heart actually. It was an older Red Heart.
That's
thin.
That's why it started snapping. It only started after we switched the yarns.
Yeah. So they switched to a Red Heart White, which I no longer use because Red Heart White is so thin when it comes to amigurumi and stuff.
But it was still too thick for the Centro.
Yeah, so if I use Red Heart White for amigurumi and then use a different color, you can tell a difference in the thickness. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know. So they used the rest of that Well, I still have some, but they used the rest of that for her hat, and she was happy with it. And she was looking for a hat that was longer, than the traditional hats to come down over her ears, and that one worked. And then she handed me the yarn and said, or asked me, do you want this yarn I bought? And she had two skeins of this particular yarn, and I said, sure, I'll make you a hat with it. I'll crochet you a hat. So I did. I used the recipe that I came up with for a hat, and I actually had to go back and look it up again because I started it out and it looked like a big old saucer. I said, Kristen, this is flat. It's not the right, something's wrong. So I went back and looked it up from Christmas Extravaganza last year and found the pattern, or not the pattern, the recipe that I had created with shells and made her a hat. So I think she'll be very happy with that. You can show that. And then I still had, one skein and part of the other one left. Matter of fact, I still have this much left of this skein, and that I made this project with here that I'm getting ready to show you, and still probably about a third or maybe a half of the other one from the other one. So with two skeins, I made that, and I made this, which if you've been around long enough, you know this is kind of my go-to. This is Bob's Bandana Cowl with the shell stitches. And so I thought, well, the shells and the shells, even though they're different shells. The only thing with this yarn, which you would think would make you realize that this is a thinner yarn than normal. I've always done this with Red Heart or Premier or something like that. I got to the end, and so you finish it and then you start to single crochet around it and make this collar. And when I got to the end and I pulled it together like this, I was not going to be able to get my head in there easily, and I don't like things tied around my neck, and even though this is for her, I didn't think she would either. So I to fix that, I crocheted a chain of 10 extra stitches and then connected it like the pattern says, and then when I went back across, I just put 10 double crochets across through there and then finished the pattern like you're supposed to. So that way it has a little bit of a collar. But this is her Bod's Bag of Day, her bandana cowl. And I really like this a lot. I've made several. There's not many patterns that I go back to and make a lot of. Period. There's rarely a pattern that I make more than one of something. Other than the basic hat pattern. But this one I've made several of, and this one I've made several of. And this was just me coming up with stitches that I liked. I love to work a shell stitch. And all it is the basic increases, and then you do in the first round after the 60 stitches are completed, you do a single crochet in the first stitch, skip 2, work 5 double crochet in the next one, skip 2, work a single crochet in the next one all the way around, and then you alternate and put a single crochet in the third double crochet of each shell and a shell in the top of each single crochet. And I do it all the way to the bottom, and then I just added 2 rounds of single crochet to make it long enough to cover. Actually, no. The first round is you are putting a single crochet in each double crochet and a half double crochet in each single crochet, and that's to even it out. If you don't want that and you want the scallop edge, you could just keep doing the single crochet and the shells, but I wanted a flat line across the bottom. So I did a single crochet in each double crochet on the next to the last round, and then a half double crochet in each single crochet, so it lifts it up and brings it all to one level. And then I did a row single crochet on the bottom. So that's all that is. And so that's her set. So she got 2 hats and a cowl, and so hopefully she's happy with that. She hasn't seen it yet. So, and yeah, it's the sparkly. You all know I got a thing for sparkles this year. I can't help it. I'm absolutely in love with sparkle yarn. I've now made a sparkle sunbunny. I've made sparkle Christmas ornaments. I've made a sparkle hat. I made a sparkle cowl. What else have I done sparkle? I don't know. I'm sparkle everything. If I would have had sparkles to make some of the other stuff I had, I would have done that too. I still have some purple sparkle yarn and some red. I think that might be it. I gave away my white to make a hat on the Centro. It makes me want to cry. No, it's okay. I will get more.
We will get more.
I will get more. I just really like my sparkle yarn. And I was using a lot of that white sparkle to make Christmas ornaments too, like the angel ornament I made and stuff like that. So anyway, that's all we have for today. Let us know down below what you're working on. I would ask you to tell me what you think about the Centro, but I think most of you have said already. And I really, listen, the Centro is a fabulous machine if you have patience. I think for me, my problem was I started trying to do it on my own, and Kristen wasn't here to help me, and I got frustrated. And the first few times I loaded the yarn, like 3 or 4 times, and went around one round on the machine, my project dropped off because I didn't know how to load it correctly. And so from the get-go, I had a bad experience and was just kind of like, yeah, whatever, you know. It's not something, and for me, my arm hurts when I do it. So they're just little things that add up. But what do you think about it?
I love it. I have had, the only problem is finding the right yarn that is compatible with the machine. That's the only thing I have a problem with.
And I've heard different people say that different machines like different yarns.
Mm-hmm.
The same machine, but for different people, it likes different yarns. So
and
it makes you kind of wonder.
Be the tension, but I don't know.
Could be the tension. Makes me wonder if maybe the machine in different settings or something has like an expansion, or I don't know. Or I don't know. Do the needles, like, they're plastic? I don't know.
I was going to say, like,
does
it expand? Or?
I don't know. Does something cause it? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but, but Kristen loves it, and as long as she loves it and she can do it, that's great, and I'm going to keep crocheting. So, that's all we have for today. We hope you have a great day. Don't forget to be kind, because
you don't know anybody else's journey.
And be kind to your Centro, too.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.